What's up, yo? I'm Third War, and this video is about Monsanto. Monsanto is a corporation that's controlling your food. What most people don't know is that they also made Agent Orange. Agent Orange was a chemical you might have learned about in history class. It is a chemical used by American forces on the Viet Cong, which was the Vietnamese rebel army, and it was basically to get them out of their hiding spots. We flew by in planes, sprayed the forest, and it would kill a lot of the Viet Cong. But also, what most people don't know, or maybe they do know, is that American forces also came into contact with this, and it might have not killed them, but what it did was severely mutate their DNA. So they might have came back home, everything might have seemed fine, then they might have had a kid, and the kid might have been born without an arm, or only 2 fingers on his hand, or no eyeball, or no nose, just completely mutated. And if the kid turned out normal, then chances are pretty high that when that kid has kids, that those kids are just going to be completely mutated, or not even be born at all because the mortality rate is so high. Alright? So, that's the company that made that is what's currently making your food. Alright? So keep that in mind. Pesticides and herbicides cause cancer. Monsanto has a product called Roundup, which is a weed killer that a lot of people use in their gardens. Terrible. Do not use it. It also completely messes with your DNA. Basically, all their products. That's their specialty, destroying your DNA. All right, and we're eating their food. But yeah, Roundup, stay away from it. Genetically modified organisms, GMOs for short, are basically when Monsanto goes into a seed, genetically modifies the seed, and then sells it to farmers so these seeds can grow while pesticides and herbicides are being poured on them. You know what I'm saying? So they're genetically modified to survive in those conditions, which isn't normal. I mean, you need a certain amount of plants to die, and that's what people don't realize. I mean, we're growing all these plants with chemicals, and none of these plants are dying because we don't have any pests or anything to eat these plants. And, I mean, in nature, a certain percentage of the plants would actually wither. They die, go back to the soil, and the soil eats them up for nutrients. You know what I'm saying? And now we don't do that. We don't let that happen now. We make sure everything grows and we snatch it, and that's not sustainable. Because if the soil doesn't have nutrients, how is it going to grow food? You know what I'm saying? So now that not only are we taking away the soil's food by not letting certain plants die and feed the soil, we're also spraying it with tons of chemicals now. So now we're not just not giving it nutrients. Now we're giving it a bunch of hazardous chemicals to operate on. Bad news. We really need to stop doing that, but it's not going to stop unless there's awareness. So that's why I'm making this video, so people understand what Monsanto is, what GMOs are, what pesticides are, what herbicides are. And then there's a documentary I want you guys to watch after this once again called The World According to Monsanto, which I'll explain more towards the end of the video. But alright, so check this out. So, a farmer might use Monsanto's GMO seeds. They might have a full farm full of genetically modified organisms, or genetically modified plants. And what people don't realize is that these plants have pollen, alright? So this pollen flies through the air, gets released by the plant, flies through the air to pollinate other fields. Now, somebody has an organic farm, which means that they had somebody come out there and inspect their farm and give them, basically write them up for organic standards, which are really tight. If they have an organic farm, but a pollen flies over from this GMO farm, and it lands in their farm and starts growing genetically modified plants, then not only does it take away their organic standards, but now Monsanto can actually sue them and take away their farm for using one of their products that they have patented. Because they're using their product, they could sue them because they didn't have Monsanto's permission to use it. So it's a total scam. Farms are family farms that have been in operation for hundreds of years are being shut down because a piece of pollen flies by and contaminates an organic farm with GMO crops. All right, it's totally criminal the way they operate, and they know this. It's not a secret to them. So a lot of high-ranking Monsanto officials. This is interesting. I believe it's the FDA that they go to. They've actually went to the FDA, like they dropped the Monsanto job, got hired by the FDA, and then either lowered standards or they passed certain laws which allowed Monsanto to do certain things that it normally wouldn't be able to. And then once they passed those laws, they quit the FDA and then got hired again by Monsanto. You know what I'm saying? So all these organizations and all these corporations are all interlocked at the top levels of society. I mean, you think about that. You got a person leaving a company, going to basically an organization that says what you can and can't do. They alter what you can and can't do, and then they go back to the company that's now operating under different guidelines, and that can take things to the next level. So it's completely corrupt. It's no good. Also, CEO Hugh Grant, the CEO of Monsanto, he eats organic food. He won't eat Monsanto's genetically modified organisms, their pesticides, their herbicides, you know what I'm saying? He won't mess with that because he knows how bad this stuff is. He won't say how bad it is, but I think he basically is saying it by admitting that he eats organic food, you know what I'm saying? I've also heard that they're pig breeding and cloning now, which means that they're patenting, is that the right word? Patents? Yeah, they're patenting the genes of pigs, and that means that if they bred with non-cloned pigs, the offspring would all belong to Monsanto because parts of the offspring's DNA is what's patented by Monsanto. So now they're about to start owning pigs, and where's the line? Where do we draw the line? You know what I'm saying? Next it's gonna be cows, chickens. Who knows? They might start cloning humans one day. You know what I'm saying? And then if those humans breed with other humans, then they own the humans that come out and they're little slaves. You know what I'm saying? That's just complete speculation. Of course, that's extreme. I mean, but where is the line drawn? Where is the boundaries? You know what I'm saying? So it's a disgusting company. They're just completely destroying lives all over the world. A lot of the Indian cotton farmers in India are actually committing suicide because of companies like Monsanto, because they just completely they get them tied up in a contract and they just destroy their lives. What else? Yeah, so there's farms which you'll see in the documentary if you watch it, which I highly suggest you do. There's farms in Mexico that have been family owned for hundreds of years, corn farms, and maybe these farms got infected, contaminated by like a GMO pollen, and now these farms are being shut down. You know what I'm saying? So something that was in a family business for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, it's being destroyed by this corporation. They're not good people. They make the most of your food. Start eating organic if you can afford it. Pesticides, herbicides, organic is no good. I mean, non-organic is no good. GMOs. So yeah, buy organic food if you can afford it. You'll notice a huge difference. It's way better for you. There's actually a study on mice for genetically modified soy, and soy isn't good to begin with, even if it's organic. So stay away from soy. It raises estrogen levels and all that. But for the study, they used genetically modified soy, and what happened was these mice would eat the soy, and then they'd have baby mice. I'm saying they'd mate and then have offspring. The offspring, there was a good percentage of them that died. You know what I'm saying? A decent mortality rate, and some of them came out with deformities, blah, blah, blah. Some came out fine. By the second or third generation, the mortality rate was like pretty much like 90% or something crazy like that, and almost everything was deformed that came out. And that's from eating a diet with genetically modified soy. So basically, they became sterile from eating genetically modified foods. You know what I'm saying? So what's that doing to us? I mean, I realize that we have a different anatomy than mice, but still, if it's having that effect on mice, it's doing something to us. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something to stay aware of. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could be being made sterile right now from eating these conventional foods. And by the way, conventional basically means the opposite of organic. So if you see something that says conventional tomatoes, that means they're not organic. Maybe they were genetically modified. Maybe they were pesticides were used, herbicides were used. So yeah, that's basically Monsanto. That's basically just touching the surface. I'm saying it goes much deeper. So watch The World According to Monsanto. I'll put the link in the description below. You need to watch it. It's going to expand your worldview a million times over. You're going to look at stuff completely different. Because it's not just politics and economics. This is agriculture. This is technology. Just everything that's going on in the world. It's all interlocked, and there's a bunch of different subjects that are contributing to the bad state of our world right now. And Monsanto is definitely one of those corporations that are involved with that. So yeah, watch The World According to Monsanto. And if this helped you, if you learned something, pass on the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We need to start educating ourselves We can't rely on our schools. We can't rely on our governments. We can't rely on nobody but ourselves, because we are the people. You know what I'm saying? This is our planet, and it's up to us to basically get humanity up to date, you know what I'm saying, with what's going on. And so yeah, definitely watch that documentary. If you listen to underground hip hop, click the box up here, check out my music, and just show some support, you know what I'm saying? If you like it, pass it forward. That'd be awesome. But yeah, so I got more videos coming this week. This is about Monsanto, the corporation, just to freshen your mind, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely watch the documentary, and I think that's it. Alright, peace.